What's up, everyone? This is a quick tutorial on how to back up text messages on your Windows Phone 7 device. First, some acknowledgments. The method was found by Thunder underscore over on the XDA developers forums, and the application to do this was developed by Sinchi WTN over on XDA developers and WP Zap, who created the tool that utilizes the method found by Thunder underscore. Since this is a homebrew method, since it currently isn't supported by the Windows Phone 7 operating system, there are a couple of requirements to do this. First off, you have to have a first generation Samsung or HTC device. If you do not, this tutorial does not apply to you, sorry. That's just how it is. The second requirement is the phones will need to be interop unlocked. For the Samsung device, I recommend you use Window Break, which you can find over on our website, windowsphonehacker.com. And for the HTC device, I recommend you use a custom ROM, since there's not really a good way to interop unlock them at this time. Since my HTC device is a little bit messed up, I'll just do this on the Samsung one. Alright, so the first step, of course, is to download the actual Zap that enables this. So head over to XDA developers and just click on the download link at the bottom. If there's not a download link, you'll need to register at XDA developers, or there might be some mirrors somewhere, but just get an account at XDA developers. It's free, whatever. Number two, you need to get this deployed onto your device. If you have the Windows Phone SDK, you can just use application deployment, and you're probably familiar with how this works. For those of you without the SDK, or for those of you who are less familiar with how this works, you'll need to get an application deployment tool, and if you don't want to install the SDK, I recommend using the Windows Phone Hacker deployment tool, just for shameless promotion, which is a bit experimental, but it should work for these purposes. So I'll just show you that real quick. And what you'll do is you'll make sure your device is connected via Zune, and then just open up the deployment tool of your choice. This one is our personal deployment tool, and then just select what you want to deploy. And then click the deploy button. It'll connect to your device. Make sure your device is on the home screen, and it should install just fine. And there we go. So that's pretty much the hardest part of this entire thing if you use the recommended method. Now on your device, navigate over to the SMS backup application. The application will load up, and it should just right away, if you have a, again, first generation Samsung or HTC device, it should be able to pull in a backup copy of all your messages. Now, to export these onto your computer or onto your SkyDrive account, you have a couple of different options. Number one, you can do the recommended option that I recommend just because it's easier, and you can upload them directly onto your SkyDrive into a private folder so you can access them. They'll be on your SkyDrive, on the cloud, backed up, etc. To do that, just click Export and Backup, and just click Export SMS to SkyDrive. And it will ask you to sign in. Just use the same Windows Live account that you use for your phone, or if you have a different one you would prefer, you can use that as well. And go ahead and click Yes. And click Upload SMS to SkyDrive. And there it says upload successful, and then we can go check over on our computer to make sure that the SMS is indeed there. Alright, and here I am on SkyDrive, and as you can see there's an SMS folder right here that's shared with just me, so these are private. And if I click on it, there is a SMS backup right here that's in text format, and I can click on that to download it. If I open it up, here is a list of my text messages, when they were sent, who they were from, etc. So that's option one and the recommended option. Now option two is to upload them into your isolated storage on your phone and then download them manually onto your computer. This way you get them directly, they don't go on the cloud or anything, which some people, for privacy reasons or whatever reason, they just happen to prefer doing it directly like that. So to do this using the isolated storage, just go back over to where you were exporting them, and you want to export them to the isolated storage. Now you have to go over onto your computer and use the Isolated Storage Explorer to download them off of your phone. Alright, so the second method requires using the Windows Phone SDK to download it out of the isolated storage of your phone. And so you'll either have to install the Windows Phone SDK, or you can download the Mini SDK, and this should work for the same purposes. And there's a link to that in the description of the video. But once you get all of that installed, either the official SDK or this miniature version of the SDK, which is the SDK minus Visual Studio and all the disk occupying kind of stuff, you'll need to download my batch files here, or if you know how to use the Isolated Storage Explorer, go ahead and do it yourself. But here are two batch files, one for the 32-bit version of Windows and one for the 64-bit. If you don't know which version of Windows you have, shame on you, but just try either one, see which one works. I have 64-bit, so make sure your phone is connected, synced up with Zune, and plugged into your computer, and sitting on the home screen, so you know that it's not locked or on standby or anything. And then just click on the appropriate batch file for your computer. And here we can see it working. And there it just says that it's completed into this folder. So then we click on the isolated storage. And here's the SMS export.txt file that we generated. And sure enough, here are the text messages. So that's just a brief tutorial on how to back up text messages off of your Windows Phone 7 device. Again, this does require homebrew and requires a couple of different steps, but if you like having your text messages available and backed up, in case you have to reset your phone or something along those lines, this should really help you out. Thanks for watching, and if you have any questions, be sure to let me know.